Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's great to be here with you. Happy Tuesday or whatever day of the week you are watching this on. I had a great weekend. I visited a new shop to me and I met an artist who is licensed to draw for Disney sketch cards. If you've seen the short, you will already know who this is, but without further ado, let's get started. So I'm here at Ultraviolet84 in Plymouth, and you can see my friend behind me who is keeping an eye on me to make sure I'm not misbehaving myself. And we're going to go inside. We've got Karl Jones in today, and this is the shop. And am I going to be escorted in? Is that what's happening now? Okay, I'll behave myself. Let's go. I feel like singing the Imperial March. Do, 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 do. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here we are.
One of a kind thing.
And this is Karl. And this is Robin, who owns Ultraviolet84. Thank you very much for showing me in. This is a shop I haven't visited before, but I contacted the owner, Robin, beforehand and said, hey, I've seen the event you've got happening on Saturday and I'd really love to come along. And so I dropped over and got to meet the both of them. So the shop in question I went to was called Ultraviolet84 and it's based in Plymouth in Devon. They are a smallish shop, but they are jam-packed with Funko Pops. They've got lounge flyers as well. And I felt like what you really get from that particular store and Robin, who owns it, is a lot of knowledge and insight to the community, the collecting community. He's got a lot of contacts and he has loads of different events happening. So in a couple of weeks' time, he's got a Fortnite-based event happening, and in September, he's got a special guest who is an actor in Star Wars franchises, amongst many other things. So it's really exciting, and he was such a lovely guy, and we were chatting for ages, and I met sketch card artist Karl Jones. Now Karl is actually based in the UK, and that's quite unusual apparently, which was really interesting to hear. So we were chatting away and I was learning all about his career, his journey to become a Disney artist. He does a lot of the kind of collector mania, collector Comic-Con type events, and he's licensed to draw for a huge range of franchises. So he does Star Wars, he does Lord of the Rings, X-Files. Who else did he do? I'm picturing who we saw. Spider-Man, so Marvel, DC, The Crow. There were Aliens as well, so lots of Disney Fox type franchises that he draws for. And it was so interesting because he was talking about how, not in detail of how you get the commissions, but the fact that it can be a really fast turnaround, and because a lot of these companies are actually based in America, you know, your shipping time might come out of the time you have for it to reach you, the cards that they're actually drawing on, do the sketches and then send them back, where they have to go through a very thorough approval process then. And how, you know, it's very variable in terms of the work that can be coming through. It's a bit like buses, they all come along at once. But it was absolutely fascinating, and he was such a nice guy. And one of the things he was there to do, he was there to offer signatures and illustrations. So I actually got this illustration from him for Fallout. There you go, that's one of the major ones I forgot. Oh, Garbage Pail Kids, Rick and Morty. We're getting into the realms of things I don't watch or follow, so, but yeah. But there you go. So this is like a gunslinger's Fallout character that he drew for us. We watched him draw this from start to finish, which was brilliant, and he signed it as well. And you can see it's got Karl Jones written at the bottom. So it was fascinating, and one of the things he was saying was that actually, even though he's been an artist for a long time, he went to college to do art, and unfortunately, you know, someone said at some point that they didn't think he was going to be able to do what he really wanted to do and really loved, because comic book art, that style, was not really widely accepted as art in those days. So he said actually it took him a good 16 years to come back to it, and he had some changes in life circumstances that brought him back to his art. And if you are a budding artist, one of the things he did say was that he doesn't really use very expensive art materials. You don't need to in order to do illustration. And he was saying, you know, often he goes and buys his stuff from the Works in the UK. And he was also talking about using things like cotton buds and toilet tissue or kitchen towel for blending stuff together as well. So really interesting. But his style, oh my goodness, it was so versatile. I mean, you know, he'd gone from, like, as I say, kind of cartoon, Rick and Morty, very kind of stylistic in terms of being a cartoon, to super, super realistic. And oh my god, the UV art. This was amazing. So he draws in negative. He draws in negative. And so you're basically like, where you draw black normally, you're doing an absence of colour, so nothing. And it's absolutely remarkable. He was showing us multiples of these. I could have looked at them all day. Honestly, they were so incredible. And then you've got a special app that you scan over the picture and it emerges. The picture behind it that he's created in negative emerges. And it was, wow, oh my god. Like, seriously, my mind was blown. It was insane.
They all, like colours, they've both got different things. So like, if I was to get a pencil rubber on there, on a white piece of paper,
Yeah.
even though you couldn't see it, when I inverted it, it would come up as a grey line. So there's no mistakes. So if I make a mistake, which I have done quite a few times, it's ruined the whole thing. Or I've left it in.
That's amazing.
So, but just to do a handful of negative sketch cards for like Dynamite or a cadet, I've had to do, there's several.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So let's get back to the store. So as I say, there are loads and loads of Funko Pops in there. Robin works hard to actually organise events with people where it's just open access. You can go down and meet them and have a chat. And he's got a wall of Funko Pops as well that are all signed. So he's got some really cool people who've signed the Pops that he's got for sale as well. And he does ship worldwide. So if you're interested or looking for anything, definitely felt like he's the sort of person who, if he didn't have it himself, he would probably know a way to get one. He seems very well connected. So yeah, really, really nice guy and a great shop. And I'll definitely be down there again in future, particularly in September, because I'm looking forward to meeting the Star Wars actor. So I'll put their links below for the shop so you can have a look if you would like to. The other thing that Karl did for me is, because he is a Star Wars licensed artist, he was able to sign stuff relating to the franchises that he has been part of. So he was not allowed to draw anything from Star Wars, which is a shame, because I had visions of us having like a little drawing competition and like who can draw the best Grogu in a minute. Obviously I was going to lose that, but he is allowed to sign stuff. So I took my Fennec Shard character keychain with me, which I'm now really upset that I ripped open. I'm sure it was me, ripped open the top of the box, so very annoyed at myself for that. But he did sign it for me, which was really cool. So there's my Fennec Shard. So she is now going to stay in the box. I was going to take her out of it and put her on my Mandalorian bag before I knew I was going on Saturday, but I'm glad I didn't, because she is now going to stay in there. And he did have some drawings of her that he'd done as well, which were really cool, and they were artist proof, so he wasn't selling those. He's a collector as well, and he was keeping hold of those, but I'll put some photos so you can see. I like Fennec Shard. I think she's a really cool character. She's quite a below the radar, strong female character, and I like that. You know, she's a badass, but she doesn't need to shout about it, and I love that. So there you go, I've got her signed now, which is really cool. So there you go. So that was how I spent my Saturday. It was a really lovely experience. There was a stormtrooper who escorted me in as well. Made sure I was behaving myself. I always do. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to, as I say, going down there again in future. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks so much for joining me. Until next time, take care and bye for now.